So, LaVar, you went there, so let's have a conversation. Your guy, Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
LaVar's a big Bob fan, Coach Bob.
Yeah.
According to Rich Thompson of the Boston Herald, Bill
What up,
O'Brien
Rich?
could be the next head coach at Boston College.
Wait.
Now, let's
Didn't
keep track of this.
The offensive
just
coordinator
took a
job?
job.
And the head coach at Boston College, Jeff Hafley, who just won a bowl game, left for the D.C. job in Green Bay. So again, moving and shaking in the world of college football.
But listen, I'm sure you can do moving from college to pros. I mean, I think that's justified, but I don't know that it's justified to accept a job, go through the process. You accept a job, and before you even get going, you're talking about heading for another job.
He's hitting the portal.
He's hitting. I mean, that's the quickest portal jump ever.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't even coach a practice yet.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many times you've been in Columbus.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
mean, if you're there, go to the Graduate.
Well, there you go. It is a dope hotel. Yeah. So I don't know. I just when I heard that news hit that Bill O'Brien would take it, my first thought was, man, like, obviously you just took this, you accepted the job, the role in Ohio for Ohio State's offensive coordinator job. But then I immediately thought back to when he took over for Joe at Penn State. And the one thing that I said to everybody when they hired him was he's a stepping stone coach.
Oh.
He's a shaker and a moving coach. Like if our program has been built on the longevity of stability of coach, you had Rip Angle for many years, and then you had Joe Paterno for a ton of years. You understood what stability meant. You understood what that meant to a small football community like State College. And I was like, I felt like it was not the best hire for the simple fact that our school was in a state where it needed to heal from all of the BS that took place, but also needed someone that would, be a leader that would be there and not just, I got a couple years in, I'm going to the league.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. He put a couple years in, and then he went to the league. But this is a new one right here. I mean, to leave before you even took the job to go take another job, that's a new one on me.
Here's the thing is I don't have that big of an issue with it nowadays with the way everything's so fluid in college sports.
But do you have a problem with it being this fluid? Or is it just is what it is at this point?
Well, I'll go back to the initial issue with college football and why there's a degree of this that still plays a portion is the college football calendar. The college football calendar has led to this, where teams have to, in college, make decisions on their head coach basically in December because of the transfer portal window and the early signing period window. If you pushed everything back where there's no early signing period window, but you push everything back to that first Wednesday in February, which used to be the National Signing Day, I think what ends up happening, and even the transfer portal window, make it in April, May, right? Like make the window then. If you did that, I think what happens is it then slows the process of hiring and firing, which then allows the NFL and the college football hiring and firing to be synced. So like Hafley, obviously being the head coach, but leaving to be defensive coordinator, it creates this domino effect where then Bill O'Brien takes the OC job. Now that he goes take all that would be more kind of synced up where I don't know that Bill O'Brien takes the OC job. I think Hafley goes to be the defensive coordinator in Green Bay. Bill O'Brien ends up being a candidate for the Boston College job. Maybe that ends up happening. So I think it's more of a byproduct of how things are timed up in college football with their calendar. And it's what needs to be changed first. And I think it could solve a lot of problems. But in saying that, it would impact the hiring and firing.
It just comes across to me as a user. You're a user.
But all coaches are looking to get to the head job and ultimately in the NFL,
and I
right?
understand that, but I just feel like there's like a thing with integrity and how you do things.
You also don't like him from what happened at Penn State.
No, I won't say I don't like. Yeah, I don't like him. Yeah, I don't like him.
So
Man, I might be a little biased, but I'm just saying. But think about it, right? You took that job because you needed a job.
Sure,
right?
I think what's more interesting about it is what happens to Ohio State if he takes it.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's the angle.
You used Ohio State.
Like, I'm not going to focus on the person doing it because this isn't the first time.
Right, take the person out of it.
Because this isn't the first time it's happened.
Take the person out of it. Where you worked, you're not going to return, right? They're blowing that out. They're blowing that out, all right? You took a job because you needed a job.
Sure.
You took a job, and they took a chance on you and hired you.
Yeah.
You haven't even worked for them, and you already switched to go to which basically you gave yourself a placeholder. Like, I have a job. I'm good. Right. If nothing else happens for me, I'm good. Thank you, Ohio State.
Sure.
But now, Boston College. I'm from Boston.
There's a lot of things that play a factor. There could be some personal reasons too.
Right. He's from there, right? He's from that area or whatever.
You could have a child that has certain needs.
Okay.
You know that might want to live there instead of there. It might make sense for that reason.
That's fair.
But
you took the job.
Sure. But again, I have no issue. If you left our show to go take what you felt was a better job.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would not ever hold someone
out of here.
I will bury you alive on the air.
Out of here. I'm out of here. I mean, I'm just saying.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
Ross
human
Tucker
nature,
said
what's up to me yesterday.
Don't you do that.
But let's be real.
Ross said he wants me to come guest host with him.
Don't you flirt with
that
another
is a
man.
lie. Don't you flirt with him. You're mine. Hey, y'all better know this. Y'all are mine.
But would you say, though, also, and I know that the Penn State,
you're still missing out on the whole point of all this. What happens to Ohio State?
Yes.
You're in a critical year.
Well, there's one.
Especially for Ryan Day.
Yeah. All right, you want to get things changed in college football? Chip Kelly needs to take that OC job at Ohio State.
And now he's going to take. And then he's going to take Ryan Day's job.
If he bails as a head coach to go be an OC in the same conference that UCLA is making their appearance in.
The crazy thing is the backstory because Ryan Day and Chip Kelly have that background together.
Do they?
Yeah.
See, I stumbled onto a legitimate take. That's called.
Well, I don't know that Chip would then go to work for Ryan. I think.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Chip Kelly is coming in, and he.
Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly gonna come to the table.
What's that?
He gonna put it on the table on y'all.
That?
If you bring Chip in, just be ready to give up your job.
Chipalophagus.
Chipalophagus.
Did he?
But was that Chip? Yeah.
I mean,
give him the job.
Chip Kelly strikes me as somebody who really wants out of UCLA, and he's interviewed with. The Commanders, the Raiders. There was another team in the NFL he interviewed to be an OC with.
It was bad enough. It was bad enough before NIL. Like, to understand the undertaking of trying to build a UCLA football program is tough.
Yeah.
Because of how hard it is to get into that school academically. Now you add NIL into the situation. He is fighting with one arm tied behind, maybe two at this point, tied behind his back. He's trying to win with no arms.
By the way,
how you going to win a punching match with no hands?
Ryan Day played for Chip Kelly at New Hampshire. Oh, so there's the backstory.
I'm telling you.
How about that?
If he takes the OC job at Ohio State,
he will have the head coaching job.
This isn't even a legitimate. He'd rather just stay at UCLA.
Okay.
He will have the head coaching job before season's end.
The greater point is, in what could be a critical year for Ryan Day's job security at Ohio State.
Now he's got to try to find the most important piece of what he's doing.
And by the way, you know what's going to happen? Is someone's going to leave their job to go take that OC job at this juncture, and that's how the business works.
My whole thing is, as long as you didn't take a job, like, okay, you're going to go get somebody else to be the OC for your team. Great, no worries. You're going to go get a guy to be the head coach of your team. Great, no worries. Can it at least be a guy, he's been there, or he's seeking a job? Like, my whole thing is, dang, like, the dude just got hired to be an offensive coordinator, and now he's getting courted to be the head coach of another school, and he's down for it. Like, I'm down for it. Like, I'm going to do it. Like,
of course.
Would you rather get dumped on day one?
Do they got to buy him out? Like, how does this work contractually? Do they got to do a buyout of him? Like, what? Maybe. Like, I hope they compensate Ohio State for that. Golly.
I don't know how much.
Just I'm going to be a head coach at Boston College. I'm going to.
By the way, you know it's a bunch of crap. I know Brady's got some intel. Who's going to be the OC at Ohio State?
Who is it going to be, Brady?
I really don't.
Come on.
Like I'm trying to rack my brain of who would make some sense.
You want me to make a call to some people at Muirfield or Tartan Fields and get to the bottom of this?
I'm not getting into that.
I mean, maybe Cliff Kingsbury should rethink going to the
Washington.
Oh, that would be great. Can you imagine that?
They rethink it.
So what are we hearing? Who are you thinking is going to?
I'm not hearing anything. Like that's the reality. Is I don't know where they go at this point.
What about Hartline? What's he up to?
Well, he has
they might have to do it by default
coordinator, but that could be one direction they go.
Dang, you taking a chance? Golly.
I mean,
talk about getting.
Do you look at bringing someone back like Kevin Wilson, something like that? I don't think he's on the staff anymore, but he was originally there at one point as a play caller. So it's tough.
Maybe they'll bring in the dude that collected all the intel on all of these teams for the signs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, what was that guy's name?
Connor Stallions.
Yeah,
Connor Stallions. Maybe they'll bring him in.
Yeah,
That'd
why
be
not?
amazing.
I mean, he's got a lot of knowledge. You know, he probably could help them get up and down the field.
I mean, I'm a Bill O'Brien fan. I mean,
yeah. I'm sure you are.
I'm just a big fan of him.
I don't have any hard feelings towards him. I just don't like the fact that in the history of our school, our institution, they kind of like look at him as like a hero. Like he's not a hero. He's a flake.
Wow.
Dang.
He's a flake.
Wow.
Well, anyway,
I just call stuff how I see it, but that's just me having my own personal moment. That's me speaking for me. I know I'm not speaking for the show on behalf of anybody else. That's just my own personal experience with it.
He would be a good fit in Boston College for a lot of reasons. I just think it's a tough job to win at consistently there. We talked about UCLA and NIL. Boston College is in that same boat. You know, you're going to have some good players who showcase themselves, and every single school that wants to try to poach a player is going to have the opportunity to do that because that's where we're at in college football.
It's a knockoff Notre Dame uniform, too, with burgundy in it.